celebrities and other people are even more so coming forward and saying, you know, we support you and we're in your corner. And it's just like, I'm just thinking, wow, how do you feel now? No, it's almost like saying, okay, I told you, I said it, I told you. And now everyone's starting to sort of see certain things maybe coming to pass for that particular person, i.e. Phaedra Parks, that she might think, oh, you know what, I feel, even when nobody else would listen to me, I was telling my truth. And now people are starting to see certain things. And I think they'll start to maybe come round to her way of thinking and believing what she was saying more if they didn't already.
Exactly.
I mean?
Well, but I really think that you're going to have that some people are going to believe it immediately. Some people are never going to believe it at all, regardless of if Phaedra could come out and say, I did it. And some people will say they're just making her do that. So you're going to have
apparently, I have to share this with you, Kara. Apparently, that's what it was said about, that's what she said about when she was on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and that story came out. I won't say what it is because it's really bad. And she said, because of all the backlash that she got, she basically said, oh, the producers made me say it. The producers made her say things like that. So basically, it's almost like she's saying the producers are the people who make them create drama to keep the show, you know, in the ratings. So they say, right, create as much drama as you can. And if you need a little help spicing it up, we will help you and tell you what to say. I mean, really?
Well, they do. That part is true. Now,
but do you know what I'm talking about when I say what she's apparently said?
Yeah, but I'm saying she's lying when it comes to that because the producers didn't tell her to do.
But what I'm saying is, people at one point believed her that the producers had put her up to it.
Well,
to say that particular type of thing, which is really vile.
Yeah, but that's, again, you know, the producer and the production side is shady also. They don't immediately reject things because they want it to get out in the news and they want the publicity for the show. Then, legally...
Come on, Kara, they got to draw a line. Damn.
But legally, you know, they got to come out and say
okay, as you guys call it, they're throwing shade and they're saying, you know, nasty things about people, which in itself it can be bad enough. But to say something like what she said about another cast member planning to do to yet another cast member, hello?
This is, if we think about who we're talking about here, we're talking about somebody that has been accused of federal racketeering. So,
yeah, but she's not facing no charges on that.
But I mean, within that, if your mindset is such that you actually possibly could have created a criminal enterprise like that and lie about it, you'll lie about anything.
Very true. Okay, people. Wow. We are talking about a lot today. So please let us know what you think at Ask Avani Show. Let me know. We are going to take a short break right now, and we will be right back on the other side after this.
Turn it up loud.
Good afternoon and welcome back. This is the Ask Avani Show right here on the Get Global Network. I have just been speaking with my very special guest this afternoon, Angela Stanton, author of the book Lies of a Real Housewife, Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil. And before the break, we were talking about, you know, just some of the things that have been out there in the blogs, on social media. And I wanted to mention, because I know you guys definitely have an opinion and you can let us know at Ask Avani Show. I mean, there's things, K-Rose, that I have seen. You know, I like to do my research, and I've seen articles in the media that people, you know, just different publications and newspapers have written. And obviously we've talked about the fact that Angela Stanton has been claiming all this time that the lawyer and reality TV star Phaedra Parks ran a criminal enterprise. So I was wondering, as I asked earlier, if she feels vindicated now, you know, because there's so many things that she has been saying all this time, and now more and more people are sort of supporting her and saying, yes, you know, I have seen certain things, or even may have had a problem with her myself. This is other people saying this, and they're thinking, okay, you know, if they didn't believe Angela Stanton before, they definitely believe her now, kind of thing. And there's an article, K-Rose, Fix It, Jesus. Phaedra Parks has allegedly been reportedly exposed as a liar again by another attorney, no less. So that was interesting to me. I thought, oh my goodness, you know. it's like everyone's starting to come out and share if they've had any experiences with her. They're starting to come out and share things. Again, I can't say this person's telling the truth and that person's lying. I don't know. You don't know, do you, Keros? We're not involved and haven't met her and had any dealings with her. So we can't say yes or no. But when you see somebody has been saying something and they've been saying the same thing repeatedly for years on end and even written a book, you may have to be like, okay, I'm going to have to really look at this and just see what this person is saying, right?
Well, again, for someone to take the time to go public with something this just really just extreme, to me, I just feel there has to be some truth to it. That's my opinion.
And like I said earlier, the thing is though, and it must be so frustrating for a lot of celebrities, especially when the media is trying to make him look bad and, saying, oh, you're lying and why would you say that and you're just jealous and blah, 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 blah. Things like that. That must be so frustrating, especially when you say, listen, I'm telling the truth. This is my story. I'm telling the truth. This is what happened in my life with that particular person. But years later, sometimes it can take years, people, for things to start to come out, and for other people, like I say, especially other celebrities, to start to actually say, nah, I had this same. And the thing is, it's not like nobody's not going to believe Candy, because they've seen these things play out on the Real Housewives of Atlanta with her and Phaedra together. So those we know, because you've seen it. The cameras have caught really shady stuff. And you just think, wow.
But that's why, to me, that person that is lying, whoever the person may be about whatever they're lying about, if they really have the gall to be that much of a liar, then they'll do anything. They used to say the white lie, little white lie. If I'm saying, no, I didn't eat the candy bar off the nightstand to my wife, and I really ate the candy bar, it's not a world-ending moment. But if I tell my wife, well, no, I didn't wreck the car, somebody stole it, and they've wrecked it, and I don't even know, and I wrecked it and walked away from the wreck, then that's a problem.
You're going to get found out. Come on.
But that's just it. Do you, when you're, not you, me, or whatever, does a person, when they're in the middle of one of these intricate things, feel they're going to get caught?
Hell no. I mean, there's people like, Candy, I keep mentioning her, but it was fascinating to me that I saw in the media again that, Angela Stanton went to one of her events at her Old Lady Gang eatery, her restaurant, and she was sitting in the audience, and Candy had to stress and say, listen, I did not plan this, okay? But look who's in the audience. Angela Stanton's in the audience, because apparently Candy had been speaking about something that had happened, because it was like a reunion party at her restaurant that she'd been talking about when she was on the reunion for the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And she said, I didn't plan for Angela Stanton to be here, but guess who's here? She's here. And there's photos and there's video of her talking to Angela Stanton in the media, and they were talking about, her case and the book and everything. And it's like, because Candy is saying, okay, she said it. Look, listen, I've had issues with her, as you all know. Phaedra has done things to me. So she is now coming out even more so and openly saying, I basically can attest to what Angela Stanton is saying, because she's saying that that's what's happened to her with Phaedra as well. That type of thing, the lies. And the book, Lies of a Real Housewife, that book is now a bestseller, people. So if you want the real details, you know what to do. You have to download the book, you have to buy the book, and you can get it from many good retailers online, including Amazon. And yes, it's even here in Amazon UK too, people. So all my UK and European listeners, you know what to do, because this is what you get here on the Ask-Avani Show, real talk with really great and interesting guests, so wow. If you want more details, as I say, you know what to do. Buy the book and let us know what you think at Ask-Avani Show. Wow, Keros, it's been fascinating to speak to her today. I was really, really intrigued to speak to her, and I say thank you again to her for giving some of her time to come and speak to me here on the Ask-Avani Show.
Well, you do find him. I'll have to give you that. you and it's not that you're out there seeking salacious interviews, but you have interesting interviews with interesting people that can back up what they're saying regardless of what the interview is about, because you're not going to interview somebody that is potentially slandering other people or lying about other people. You're doing your homework. But these people are telling some stories that I think the world wants to hear. So I applaud you for doing that.
Oh, thank you. But as I say, I wanted to give her the opportunity to speak, because one thing I must say, Carol, I don't know if you've ever noticed this. When, people go on and they get asked to do an interview, have you ever noticed they get asked questions, but they don't actually get the opportunity to actually answer the question?
Yes.
Because the interviewer just kind of sort of, just talks at them and maybe even talks over them where they're trying to answer. And you think, wow, let them answer. You're asking them a question. Please let them answer. So people, out here on the Ask-Avani Show, I don't do that. If I say I want to interview somebody, I genuinely am interested in interviewing them and actually asking them questions that they can answer, that they will actually be able to take the time if they choose to and answer. Because I'm not going to be jumping down their throat and saying, no. I want them to have a positive and comfortable experience, and I want them to actually feel like they can talk, because somebody's actually giving them the opportunity to speak, and then they will be listened to. And then obviously, people around the world will actually hear what they have to say.
Well, and that's when the personality wants to be the story, to me.
Oh, no.
And you're basically doing this for your listeners and yourself, but
because I'm genuinely interested to hear about this person, because I think, wow. Whenever I hear a story or, something, and I think, I'd really love to speak to that person, it's from a positive point of view. I want to, obviously people go through things in their life, but I also want to be able to have them talk about the positive, the inspirational, the motivational, whatever it may be, that they've said, right, I've gone through this dark time in my life, but I'm changing my life. And I want other people to see that if you've gone through things in your life, you can change your life. You can have the life that you really want, as I said earlier, and you can move forward. But you can only do that if people are giving that person the chance to actually speak, as opposed to jumping down their throat and saying, oh, this and blah, blah. No, the whole point of talking to someone is talking with them, letting them answer your questions.
Right.
If they want to. Obviously, there may be some things they don't want to talk about, but that's just with anything. I want to respect my guests and their privacy but talk to them about the things that they want to share, the things that they want the world to know and the listeners to know about. So, as I say, it was a pleasure for me to speak with Angela Stanton, and as I say, thank you again to her for giving some of her time to come and speak with me here on the Ask-Avani Show. People, wow, I hope you've enjoyed today's interview. It's been real, and you need to look out for us. We're going to be on the radio near you very soon. Take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. This is the UK Soul Queen Diva signing out. Bye.
Just have to tell you, maybe there's something on my mind. I just have to tell you.
You have been listening to the Get Global Network podcast of the Ask-Avani Show. You can hear the show live on Saturdays at 3 p.m. in London, 9 a.m. Central Time in the U.S., on sometro-radio, one of the original member stations of the Get Global Network. Listen to the show on the go or hear replays of previous shows by installing any of the Get Global Network apps, like Sometro Magazine for your cell phone. The apps are available for download on both Google Play and iTunes App Store. Take the time to subscribe to our podcast via iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, or the Spreaker podcast networks.